Dr. Ilara Voss stared at the final checklist on her screen. Her hands were steady, but her heart was not. Behind her, the test ship Odyssey floated in the dark of the outer solar system. No starship had ever gone this far from Earth with an engine like this. No one had ever tried to rewrite the rules of moving. The tachyon shear drive was not like other FTL engines. Other species jumped through holes in space. They bent light and folded distance. But humans had done something different. They built a machine that told space to change. It did not push through the universe. It asked the universe to move aside. Ilara did not believe in asking for permission. The Galactic Council had watched human science for 50 years. They had given rules. They had given warnings. Humans had smiled and nodded and then built this in secret. "Drive is ready," said Leo, her engineer. He was young and excited. He did not understand what fear felt like. Ilara understood it very well. She looked at the small window on the left side of the bridge. Through it, she could see a tiny alien observation drone. The Council had sent it months ago. It watched everything. Its red light blinked slowly, like an angry eye. "Ignore it," Ilara said. "Start the sequence." Leo pulled the lever. The drive did not roar. It did not shake. Instead, a soft hum filled the ship. The stars outside began to stretch like hot sugar. Then they stopped. The ship did not move. At least, that was how it felt. But the drone saw everything. On the other side of the galaxy, in a great hall made of black stone and old light, the Galactic Council sat in shock. The Xylos were the oldest race. Their bodies were thin and gray. Their eyes had seen empires fall. But they had never seen this. The human ship disappeared. No warp signature. No gravity wave. No heat. No sound. No trace. It was there 1 second, and then it was not. One of the Xylos stood up. His name was Vex. His voice was dry like old paper. "They have learned to edit reality," he said. The hall went silent. "If they make a mistake, they could erase a star. If they do it on purpose, they could erase a system. This is not travel. This is destruction waiting to happen." Another alien, a small creature from the water world of Thassos, spoke softly. "Did they ask anyone? Did they warn us?" No one answered. Everyone knew the answer. Meanwhile, the Odyssey reappeared. It was not near Jupiter anymore. It was near Alpha Centauri. The jump took less than a second. Ilara looked out the window and saw a new sun. It was orange and warm. She laughed. It was a small laugh, tired and happy. "We made it," she said. Leo checked the readings. No damage. No time loss. No weird side effects. The drive worked exactly as we hoped. Ilara nodded. Then she opened a channel back to Earth. Mission Control was cheering. But she asked for something else. She asked for the alien frequency. When the Council heard her voice, they stopped talking. "This is Dr. Ilara Voss of Earth," she said. "We just completed a successful test of the tachyon shear drive. We are currently 4 light years from home. No systems were harmed. No reality was edited. We simply wanted to get to Alpha Centauri faster." Vex the Xylos closed his eyes. He was not angry. He was afraid. Because he knew the truth. The humans had not asked for permission. They had not followed the rules. And worst of all, their engine worked perfectly. He looked at the other Council members. "Call an emergency assembly," he said. "Now." The hall filled with noise. Aliens shouted over each other. Some were scared. Some were curious. A few were secretly happy. But all of them agreed on one thing. Humanity had changed everything. And no one knew if that was good or bad. The Council did not wait long. 3 days after the first test, they sent a message to Earth. The message was short and cold. "Stop all work on the tachyon shear drive. Surrender all data. If you refuse, we will cut every trade route. We will take every ship. We will leave your planet alone in the dark." Earth's leaders read the message. They talked for many hours. Some were afraid. Some were angry. But in the end, they made a strange choice. They did not send a politician. They did not send a general. They sent Captain Marcus Webb. Marcus was not a famous man. He did not give speeches. He did not wear fancy clothes. He was tall and quiet, with gray hair and old eyes. He had flown the first test of the drive. He had seen the stars stretch like sugar. He was the only person who truly understood what the engine could do. The Council expected a diplomat. Instead, they got a pilot. Marcus stood in the great hall of the Council. He did not bow. He did not shout. He simply looked at Vex, the old Xylos leader, and smiled. You want to see what the drive does? Marcus said. Then come see it. Bring your people. One from each race. I will take you on a jump. After that, you can decide what to do. Vex was silent for a long time. Then he agreed. 3 days later, 30 aliens stood inside the Asterisk Odyssey star. They came from every corner of the galaxy. Some were tall and thin. Some were small and furry. One looked like a walking rock. Another looked like blue smoke in a glass box. They were all scared. They did not trust the humans. They did not trust the engine. But they were too proud to say no. Marcus stood at the front of the cargo bay. He did not give a long speech. He just said one thing. Hold on to something. Then the drive started. The hum was soft at first. Then it grew louder. The lights inside the ship turned blue. The aliens felt something strange. It was not movement. It was not shaking. It was like the whole universe blinked. For 1 second, the ship passed through something that should not exist. It was a place between places. A dimension where thoughts had weight. Where imagination became real. Most of the aliens felt nothing. But one of them, a small creature named Krell from the jungle world of Vaughn, was very afraid. Krell had 6 legs and big eyes. He had seen predators his whole life. And in that 1 second of fear, he thought of the worst one. The Razorback. A beast with long teeth and red eyes. A killer that could run through walls. And it appeared. Right there in the cargo bay. The Razorback was 7 feet tall. Its mouth was open. Its teeth were sharp like broken glass. It roared. The sound was so loud that the lights flickered. The aliens screamed. Some fell down. Others tried to run, but there was nowhere to go. Marcus did not run. He looked at the beast. Then he looked at his crew. Fire extinguishers, he said calmly. Now. 2 human crew members grabbed the red bottles from the wall. They ran toward the Razorback. The beast turned its head. It was fast, but the humans were faster. One of them sprayed white foam directly into its eyes. The beast screamed and shook its head. The other human pulled out a plasma wrench. It was a tool for fixing the engine. It was hot and heavy. He hit the beast on the side of its head. Once. Twice. 3 times. The Razorback fell. It did not get up. In less than 30 seconds, it was gone. The dimension had taken it back. The cargo bay was clean again. No blood. No damage. Just a small burn mark on the floor. The aliens stared. Their mouths were open. Their hearts were beating fast. But the humans just put the fire extinguishers back on the wall. One of them laughed. Good workout, he said. Marcus turned to the aliens. His face was calm. He was not shaking. He was not even breathing hard. That happens sometimes, he said. No big deal. Krell the small creature fell to his knees. No big deal, he whispered. That beast could have killed us all. Marcus shrugged. We had fire extinguishers. The aliens looked at each other. They finally understood something very important. Humans were not afraid of the danger. They did not freeze. They did not panic. They saw a monster from another dimension, and they hit it with a tool. These people were not brave because they were strong. They were brave because they were excited. The danger did not scare them. It made them smile. Vex the Xylos watched everything. His old gray face showed nothing. But inside, his mind was racing. He had seen many species. He had seen warriors and scientists and kings. He had never seen anyone fight a nightmare with a fire extinguisher. The Asterisk Odyssey Asterisk completed its jump. The stars outside returned to normal. The aliens left the ship very quietly. They did not say thank you. They did not say goodbye. They just walked away, shaking their heads. But they all thought the same thing. Humans are not normal. And maybe, just maybe, that was a good thing. After the demonstration, the council pretended nothing had changed. They smiled at the humans. They shook hands. They said kind words. But behind closed doors, the Xylos were already working. Vex had ordered his scientists to study every piece of data from the Asterisk Odyssey Asterisk jump. They had small machines that could read the leftover energy of the tachyon shear drive. No other species could do this. The Xylos were old. Their technology was slow but very deep. They could find secrets hidden in empty space. The lead scientist was a female named Scylla. She had worked for 300 years. She had seen many strange things. But what she found this time made her hands shake. She walked to Vex's room in the middle of the night. Her face was white. You need to see this, she said. Vex looked up from his desk. He did not like being disturbed. But he saw her face and said nothing. He followed her to the lab. Scylla pointed to a screen. It showed waves of energy. Most of them were blue and calm. But in the middle, there was a line of red. What is that? Vex asked. That is the past, Scylla said. The human engine does not just move through space. It leaves a mark on time. And we can read that mark backwards. Vex felt cold. How far back? Scylla touched the screen. The image changed. Stars moved. Galaxies spun. Then everything stopped. They were looking at a planet. It was beautiful. Blue skies. Green mountains. Big cities made of white stone. And in the middle of the largest city, there was a tower. The tower was made of light. The progenitors, Vex whispered. The progenitors were a legend. Every species knew their name. They were the first intelligent life in the galaxy. They had built wonders that no one could understand. And then, one day, they were gone. The council had always said they died from a sickness. A sad but natural end. Scylla zoomed closer. The Tower of Light was dark now. The cities were broken. The green mountains were burned. This was not a sickness. This was a war. Vex watched as strange ships appeared in the sky. They were not progenitor ships. They were old models. Very old. But Vex knew them. Every Xylos child learned about them in school. They were council ships. The founding races. The Xylos. The Thasians. The Cath. They had come together and attacked the progenitors. Not because they were evil, but because they wanted the technology, the Tower of Light, the secret of immortality, the power to control stars. The progenitors had tried to fight, but they were peaceful. They did not believe in weapons. In 3 days, they were gone. Every last one. The council races took everything and then wrote a new history. A lie that lasted for 10,000 years. Vex could not breathe. He had ordered the lie. No, not him. His ancestors. But still, his hands had held the power that came from murder. Delete this, he said. His voice was hard. Scylla looked at him. I cannot. The humans have the same data. Their engine records everything. They may not know how to read it yet, but they will learn. Vex closed his eyes. He thought about Captain Marcus. He thought about the fire extinguisher and the plasma wrench. Humans were not careful. They did not keep secrets. They showed everything to everyone. They had no political filter. No sense of hiding the truth. If they found out what the council had done, they would tell the whole galaxy. They would put it on their networks. They would show it to every species, big and small. They would not care about politics. They would only care about the truth. Vex opened his eyes. We have to stop them, he said. How? Scylla asked. Vex did not have an answer. Because he knew something worse. The human engine was not a weapon. It was a mirror. And the mirror was showing the council's ugliest face. He looked at the screen one more time. The broken tower. The burned mountains. The ghosts of a murdered species. They will never forgive us, he said quietly. Scylla said nothing. Because there was nothing to say. Outside the lab, the stars were quiet. But inside the old Xylos leader, a new feeling was growing. It was not anger. It was not fear. It was something worse. It was shame. The secret did not stay hidden for long. A small group of humans, working for money and power, tried to sell the tachyon shear drive to the highest bidder. They did not care about truth or lies. They only cared about profit. The council heard about this and felt true fear. If bad humans gave the engine to bad aliens, the galaxy would burn. Every council race prepared for war. Ships were moved. Weapons were checked. Soldiers were given orders. Vex told his people to be ready for anything. He knew that once the engine spread, no one would be safe. But then something unexpected happened. Commander Ilara Voss, the same woman who had first tested the drive, walked into a broadcast room on Earth. She looked straight into the camera. Behind her, a screen showed strange symbols and old images. She did not look angry. She did not look scared. She looked tired but sure. Hello, Galaxy, she said. I am about to show you something the Council did not want you to see. She pressed a button. The broadcast went everywhere. Every planet. Every ship. Every small station at the edge of nowhere. The data poured out like water from a broken dam. It showed the progenitors. Their beautiful cities. Their Tower of Light. Then it showed the Council ships. The attack. The fire. The death. 3 days of murder, shown in clear, unedited detail. For 1 full minute, the galaxy was silent. Then the noise began. Millions of voices. Some crying. Some shouting. some just whispering the same word over and over. Why? 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 Vex watched the broadcast from his room. His hands were cold. His heart was heavy. He had tried to stop this. He had failed. And now every child in every system would know what his ancestors had done. Ilara spoke again. We could destroy you for this, she said. We have the engine. We have the proof. We could share it with your enemies. We could let you burn. She paused. The whole galaxy waited. But we are not going to do that. Vex blinked. He did not understand. Ilara continued. Fear makes species do terrible things. The Council was afraid of losing power. So they killed. We will not do the same. Instead, we want to build something new. A truth archive. A place where history cannot be changed. Where every crime, every secret, every lie is kept safe for everyone to see. No more hidden genocides. No more secret weapons. Just the truth. She looked straight at the camera. Straight at Vex. Straight at every alien who had ever lied. You fear our engine because it shows who you really are. But that is not a bad thing. That is the only way to become better. The broadcast ended. Across the galaxy, reactions were not simple. Some races, especially the small ones who had always been pushed around by the Council, felt hope for the first time. They sent messages to Earth. Thank you, they said. Thank you for showing us the truth. We will stand with you. But other races were angry. The Thasians, the Cath, and the Xylos had been part of the old lie. They did not want a truth archive. They did not want to be seen for what they really were. In secret, they began to plan. Not war. Something quieter. Assassination. If they killed Commander Voss, maybe the truth would die with her. Humanity knew this. The intelligence reports were clear. Someone would try to hurt Ilara. Someone would try to stop the archive. But humanity did not send warships. They did not threaten revenge. Instead, they sent diplomats. Men and women in plain clothes, carrying nothing but words and patience. They went to every angry race and sat down to talk. It was slow. It was hard. Some diplomats were shouted at. A few were hurt. None were killed, because the aliens were still afraid of the engine. And every human ship, from the smallest cargo carrier to the largest science vessel, now had a tachyon shear drive. Not for fighting. For running away. For showing up somewhere unexpected. For delivering truth before lies could spread. Vex watched the humans work. He saw their diplomats smile at enemies. He saw their ships appear and disappear like ghosts. He saw Commander Voss still alive, still talking, still building the archive. He did not know if humanity would succeed. But he knew one thing for certain. They had chosen to help instead of destroy. And that choice, terrible and wonderful at the same time, was something the Council had never learned to make. Maybe, he thought, that was why humans were different. Not because of the engine, but because of what was inside them. 6 months passed like a fast wind. The galaxy did not forget what it had seen. The images of the progenitors and the burning cities stayed in every mind. Old alliances broke. New ones formed. And the Council, the powerful Council that had ruled for 10,000 years, could not hide anymore. The Xylos were put on trial. Not all of them, but the leaders who had kept the secret. Vex stood in front of a large crowd. His gray face showed no emotion. He did not ask for mercy. He simply said, "We did what we thought was necessary." It was not enough. The judges, from 20 different species, gave him a sentence of exile. He would spend the rest of his long life alone on a small moon with no company but his thoughts. The other founding races, the Thasians and the Cath, lost their special votes. They could no longer control the Council alone. Smaller species, the ones who had always been ignored, were given seats at the table. For the first time in history, a creature from a water world, no bigger than a human child, spoke and everyone listened. And through all of this, humans did not take power. They did not ask to lead. They did not demand rewards. They simply watched and recorded. Every meeting, every trial, every speech. The truth archive grew bigger every day. Any person in the galaxy could look inside it. Any lie could be checked. Any crime could be found. A new rule spread from system to system. No one wrote it down. No one voted for it. But everyone knew it. Do not lie to humans. They will know. They will show everyone. It was not a rule made from fear. It was a rule made from fact. The human engine saw everything. And humans, strange and stubborn humans, refused to keep secrets. On a small colony ship far from the center of the galaxy, life was quiet. The ship was called New Morning. It carried 5,000 people, most of them human, but also a few aliens who had chosen to leave the old worlds behind. They were going to a new planet, a green planet with 2 suns and soft rain. They were going to build something fresh. Captain Marcus Webb lived on this ship. He was old now. His gray hair had turned white. His back hurt when he walked too long. But his eyes were still bright, and his hands were still steady. He did not fly ships anymore. He taught children. Every afternoon, he sat in a small classroom near the front of the ship. The room had big windows that looked out at the stars. The children sat on the floor. Some were human. Some were alien. They all listened when Marcus spoke. One day, he brought a small model of the tachyon shear drive. It was made of clear plastic and little lights. The children watched as the lights moved in circles. "This is the engine," Marcus said. "It does not push. It does not pull. It asks the universe to move. And the universe says yes." A young alien raised her hand. She was from the water world of Thassos. Her skin was blue and soft. Her voice was small but clear. "Captain Webb," she said, "aren't you afraid of the power?" Marcus looked at her. He did not laugh. He did not give a quick answer. He thought for a moment. Then he smiled. "Power is not scary," he said. "Secrets are scary. When you hide something, you worry someone will find it. You feel sick in your stomach. You cannot sleep at night. But when you turn on the lights, when you show everything, there is nothing to fear anymore." He pointed at the stars outside the window. "We just turned on the lights. That is all we did. The engine is just a tool. The real change came from inside us. We chose to stop hiding." The young alien thought about this. Then she nodded. The classroom was quiet for a moment. Then Marcus stood up. He walked to the window and looked out at the darkness. "Would you like to see a jump?" he asked. The children shouted yes. Marcus called the bridge. He spoke to the pilot, a young woman named Sarah who had been his student long ago. "Take us out," he said. "Slow and easy." The drive hummed. The lights turned blue. The stars stretched like soft ribbons. And then the ship moved. It did not move to war. It did not move to fight. It did not move to hide or to run. It moved to a new home. A place where the truth was welcome and lies had no power. The children watched through the window. Their eyes were wide. Their mouths were open. They were not afraid. They were excited. Just like humans had always been.